work. The Proactive Professional is all about how to do the right things today to set yourself up for success in your career tomorrow. Proactive is a common buzzword in the business world. You've probably heard it way too many times. But very few people really know what it means, and even fewer know how to actually develop that as a skill that can help you personally. Career coach Christy Civic is here to tell us about the Proactive Professional. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So you wrote a book.
I did.
And it's all about being proactive.
Yes, it's called The Proactive Professional, How to Stop Playing Catch Up and Start Getting Ahead at Work and in Life.
Well, I mean, we hear proactive, right? It means thinking about something before it actually comes to you.
Yeah.
Is that what it means in business?
It's such a buzzword. In fact, the inspiration for this book was that my boss had been saying for so long, we have to be proactive. I remember at one point my colleagues and I kind of looked at each other and were like, do we even know what he's talking about here?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the double rainbow. What does it mean?
Right, exactly. I had to do some research, and I wanted to figure out what it means to be proactive in real terms in the business world, but I also wanted to develop really a framework to help professionals develop this skill set that I think is just such an invaluable thing for our careers. Any professional in any field, in any industry can benefit from this.
And so in simpleton terms, I know you wrote a whole book about it, but what does it mean? I mean, how do we simplify that in terms of just being proactive on an everyday basis?
Yeah, the easiest way to think about it is first to think about the opposite, because the opposite is being reactive. When you're just reacting and responding to all of the events and circumstances and situations that are happening in your life. Yes, and it's really stressful. And in the workplace, we have to be reactive to a certain extent. We need to be adaptable and agile. But when you're living that way, it's stressful. And that's when you start to feel like you're in that hamster wheel and you're constantly playing catch up, but you're never getting ahead. So being proactive is just, it's breaking out of that cycle and it's doing the right things today to set yourself up for success tomorrow.
Okay, and so does that involve asking the right questions? Because we don't always know what our boss is going to want next, but if you're going to be proactive, you got to know what's next.
Yeah, and there's an entire skill set around this. So this is one of the areas where people get confused. We tend to think of being proactive as one single skill, and it's not. It's actually 6 different skills kind of working in combination with one another, and yes, asking questions is certainly a key component. One of my favorite skills, I call it strategic foresight. Our former Secretary of State, Colin Powell, used to talk about this, and he would say, leaders should look for people who can see around corners. Such a cool way to talk about this. He's talking about strategic foresight, using your logic and your imagination to intelligently forecast what might be happening in the future.
You might be wrong sometimes.
You might be wrong.
That's okay.
Absolutely. We can't predict the future. That's kind of my next point. We can't predict the future. Anything is possible. But we're just trying to prepare for the future, thinking ahead. You know, right now is the perfect time for this. We're all thinking about 2017 career goals. So you want to get a new job next year. That's great. But what are you doing today to prepare? Are you revising your resume? Are you activating your network? There's no reason we have to wait till January 1st, We can absolutely take action today. And once again, it's really just positioning yourself to be in the best possible place for success, regardless of what happens. We want to be able to take advantage of opportunities, overcome obstacles, and create those desired outcomes for ourselves.
Some great things to think about if you're getting ready to head off to work today. Chrissy, thank you so much. The book, you can obviously just read the whole book and then you'll be totally prepared. It's called The Proactive Professional. It's available right now. Where can we buy it?
Amazon.com. You can get it in paperback and Kindle.
It's a website. They sell stuff. You can look into it. Let's get over to Greg. He's watching your weather. Hey, Greg.